6 equals 2 times 3. We know that 6 is the subject, but we want to change the subject to a different number within the equation, or a different letter if it's an algebraic equation. So we want to change the subject to the number 3. We know already that 6 divided by 2 equals 3, and we need to understand how we can change the subject so that the statement becomes true. Well, what's going to happen is we're going to have to move some things around. And I want to use this illustration to demonstrate what I'm talking about. Imagine that we have our globe here, our world, and our equator in the middle, and you have somebody standing at the top of the world. And if that person was to walk past the equator, that's important to understand, walk past the equator and get to the other side, you would see that now the person would be facing the other way. Originally, the person was facing our right, and when he crossed over to the other side, he's now facing our left. And similarly, if he was to walk back round to the other side, he will be facing right again. And so what that means is when we want to change anything in our equation, if it crosses the equal sign, it's going to change to its opposite. In other words, if you have a plus sign and you take it across the equal sign, it's going to change to the opposite, and the opposite of plus is minus. And if you have a multiplication sign and it goes over to the other side, it will become the opposite, which is a divide. Similarly, if you have a square, something to the power of 2, then let me just put something here so you can see that. So x to the power of 2, if that power comes over to the other side, then the opposite of the power is the square root. And so it goes. So what we need to understand is that anytime something crosses over the equal sign, the equator, it will change to its opposite. And if it crosses back, if the negative goes back to the other side, it becomes positive. If the divide goes back, it becomes multiplication. And if the square goes back, the square root goes back, it becomes a square again. So if you understand that, then you are in a position to deal well with this topic of changing subjects.